The MZ-RH1 was Sony's last full-fledged mini-disc recorder/downloader. It could connect to digital sources via Toslink or USB, the latter requiring 32-bit Windows, a USB-B cable, and one of the most dastardly designed software suites music fans have ever had to put up with. The RH1 downloaded and uploaded digitally. It recorded. It played. Some say it rocked. By and large, it still does, and is considered by MD fans an endgame level recorder. Certainly no other MD recorder is as feature-rich, and no other real-time recorder I've tested measures as well. But the RH1 isn't as solidly built as the MZ-RH3D, the MZ-R50, or the MZ-B100, let alone the R30 or the R37. Tossing it into the tech-stuffed cavern of a man bag or otherwise tossing it around the studio when recording tracks will, in short order, rack up both cosmetic and utilitarian blemishes. What's nicer and more professional vis-a-vis the MZ-R50 are its rubber feet and side-aligned inputs and outputs. The one-touch eject mechanism is a nice touch, but is really hard to engage without accidentally pressing the triple function play, fast forward, fast reverse control lever. In contrast, the MZ-R50's open slider mounts along the front with nothing opposite to accidentally trip. The RH1's volume buttons are tiny, fiddly affairs. Its T-mark button is just as small. It is also too close to the pause button and not far enough from the combination play, fast forward and fast reverse lever. The big fingered among us might trip fast reverse when trying to engage it. Obviously, the too easy to engage play, fast forward and fast reverse lever is poorly designed. At least the RH1's battery door is battened down and won't open of its own accord, but it is hard to prise open and when open sits at awkward angles. If you've not got nails, you'll have to hang the RH1 upside down and wave it back and forth until the battery discovers gravity. Compare this to the NH3D's battery compartment, which both stays shut and slides open when needed. A recurring theme among many of Sony's modern portable electronic goods is compactness über alles. This results in cramped interfaces with little differentiation of physical feedback. The control buttons of older Sony units were shaped differently depending on the feature and grouped into functional niches which aided titling, recording, editing functions, and music playback. Good designs encourage workflow repeatability and stability. The worst designed part of the RH1 is its remote control. It reverses the basic titling, track forward, and back functionality found in Sony's longest used remote sticks, adds a bunch of tightly packed buttons, mashes play, fast forward, and fast reverse into an awkward punching slide, and worse, it bends. It is a step back in every way possible. The RH1 bears a striking resemblance to Sony's prettiest recorder, the MZ-R37. It isn't brutish or awkward. Its OLED screen is a nice touch and easily readable in any indoor light. Unfortunately, it is nearly impossible to read in direct sunlight, which forces you to use its horrible remote control. The RH1 hisses drastically less than the R50 and somewhat less than the NH3D. As a result, it is perfectly fine to pair with even the most sensitive earphones out there. Noise from its output straddles a line between Fiio's M6 and Apple's iPhone SE. Under load, it is unable to completely stabilize frequency response, let alone stereo separation. The 16-bit ceiling eludes the RH1 more than it does the NH3D. Still, among MD recording units, it is one of the best measuring, and its sound enhancement engine is good, featuring a well-rounded EQ, dynamic normalizer, and environmental echo emulators. Purists might like its generally clear sounding signature, certainly next to the warmer MZ-R50, but the similarly clear NH3D is better when measured against objective standards. Unfortunately, like most second-gen and later Minidisc recorders, the RH1 is significantly less powerful than a FiiO M6, M3, or iPhone, let alone the powerful and compact Onkyo DP-S1 or Sony's massive and powerful MZ-1. As an analog recorder, it is reliable, but Sony recorders have always been reliable. Sonic Stage, the music management software necessary to utilize high-MD A-Track at 352 kilobits per second, or sideload MP3 files and digitally offload recorded files, is a doozy. It really only works on 32-bit Windows, and the Mac analog is even more outdated. Because I'm on a Mac, I won't even touch it for this review. But back in 2005, I used it with an RH10, and it was balls. If you're in the market for a recorder, the MZ-R1 is unmatched in features and overall recording performance. And unique among Sony's downloader units, it bears a USB-B port, which is a big upgrade next to the proprietary affair installed into the NH3D and other downloader units. The RH1 is chock full of features. It looks good, plays well, and is crafted partly for the future, partly for the past. But it's not that well built, nor does it measure as well as certain other MD Walkman recorders. It sounds good and only barely hisses when hooked up to modern, super sensitive earphones such as Hi-Diz MS1 and MS4, Campfire Audio Andromeda, and the like. But ultimate sound quality is not the reason you'd pick one up. You'd pick one up to own the last gen Sony MD Walkman recorder downloader, or to be able to upload your favorite MDs to your computer digitally and with all their titles and track marks in place. It's easy to see why the RH1 heralded the end of the format. Not only did Sony do too little too late, they put too little effort into carrying forward the good and stable designs from earlier recorders. If you have a hankering to get into Minidisc in 2019, well, the MZ-RH1 is not a bad way to go. There's a whole bunch of extra encoding formats. You can do MP3, you can upload your favorite tracks back into your computer that you recorded even decades ago. But it's not a great player. Its battery life is just okay, its recording quality is good, but you're going to have to rely on Sonic Stage to do everything from uploading to using those new 8-track codecs. Its button quality is poor, you might break a few off, and if you do not have the tiniest fingers, even my metrosexual hands tend to touch buttons they were not intended to touch. This is not a great designed player, it's a player that is designed for the moment, and the moment it was designed for was the last breath of the Minidisc, when it needed more than that. It needed a forward-thinking design, not something that would just tide people over between the MP3 Walkman and the Minidisc. I'll see you next time.